So what is going on, everyone? My name is LittleMarMan, and today we are going to be talking about the Gatekeepers from Shadows of Evil, and of course all of their significance in the Call of Duty Zombies storyline. So who are the Gatekeepers, or who are the Keepers in Shadows of Evil? Basically, they are the guys that every time you pick up a sort of part to do a ritual, or every time you do a ritual, or even activate Pack-a-Punch, these guys are flying around and trying to sort of stop you. But it looks like they're trying to kill you. They are just trying to stop you because they know that the Shadow Man is bad. And of course, for the first, until you pack a punch, you do not realize that the Shadow Man is actually a bad person. He seems like he's trying to help you, and he sort of manipulates the characters to actually complete this. And every time you do have to pack a punch, and every time you do find out that the Shadow Man is of course bad, and every time you're doing a ritual, you're helping the Shadow Man, and these guys are of course trying to stop that because they know the Shadow Man is bad. So let's start off by saying that these guys are of course good. They are trying to stop sort of the evil of the Shadow Man entering this realm, and that's exactly what you actually cause due to sort of activating the Pack-a-Punch. So right now I'm going to let you hear a few quotes from the Shadow Man that is actually, he's trying to manipulate our characters. Sort of you hear all these quotes pre-Pack-a-Punch and before you find out the Shadow Man is actually evil, and he sort of appears good, and he appears that he's sort of protecting you from these Keepers, and he says that the Keepers are trying to serve their overlord and let their overlord take over this realm. As a matter of fact, that is actually what the Shadow Man is trying to do. He is trying to get you to complete tasks, and then his overlord, which is that big thing in the sky after you pack a punch, which we assume is the god of Cthulhu, whose boots on the ground is of course the Shadow Man. So I'm going to let you hear these quotes right now.
These are our true enemies. We must hurry. The Keepers seek to hasten the collapse of the dimensions. The Keepers corrupt and distort reality, providing a means for their masters to overwhelm this world. We must remain vigilant. The Keepers will try to thwart us at every turn. The Keepers will keep coming. They will not rest until this world belongs to their overlords. The Keepers seek to exploit the weakness between the dimensions, to allow their masters passage to this world. You must repel their onslaught at all costs.
So yeah, it's pretty obvious that these guys are of course enemies, and it is pretty obvious how sort of the Shadow Man is trying to manipulate our characters to sort of, he's persuading them once again that of course they are trying to bring their overlord into this realm. As a matter of fact, it is actually the Shadow Man trying to bring his overlord into the realm, and of course you help the Shadow Man when you pack a punch, of course. That thing once again, which we assume is Cthulhu, the god of all gods in the sky. So that is pretty interesting. Now moving on from that, when we sort of take more and more steps towards the Easter egg, we need to build the swords, and of course these swords are gifted to us by the Gatekeepers, and the Gatekeepers know that we are going to use these swords to defeat the Shadow Man, and that's of course why they give us the swords, and then sort of they upgrade them then, so because they once again know that we are trying to further defeat the Shadow Man and take back this realm. And that is sort of why they give us that as well. And then as we progress towards actually killing the Shadow Man, we have the 4 Gatekeepers in place of where we placed the previous Gate Worms, and then sort of we give them back the upgraded swords that they actually gave us, and then they use their upgraded swords to sort of break the Shadow Man's shield, and then we sort of with them then defeat the Shadow Man and begin to sort of take back over the realm, and then continue to the final step where we of course electrocute the boxes, and then of course end up sort of killing Cthulhu, the god of all gods. And then the end cutscene plays, which I'm going to play for you right now, and then we're going to discuss sort of the significance of them in it as well.
I'm so sorry. I really don't have time to explain. I have a universe to set right. Thank you, and goodbye.
Once again, it is pretty self-explanatory, but basically, the Gatekeepers' one mistake was actually giving back the Summoner's Key to us, and they thought we were worthy to actually protect it, because remember, we just did defeat the god of all gods, and of course, we sort of defeated the Shadow Man as well, and supposedly, now, he is captured in the summoning key, which hasn't really been confirmed. There's a few theories on it, but which we assume basically we did defeat the Shadow Man, and that is why they sort of trust us with such an artifact with such power. But of course they were mistaken to give it to us, and they were not expecting that Richtofen would come in and snatch it. Now this may not actually be such a bad thing. Now what would you do if I told you that of course Richtofen and the Gatekeepers are actually on the same team, or at least were on the same team? Then again, when actually is where? Because with all these alternate universes and different realms, it is actually hard to pinpoint when is the past, when is the present, and when is the future. But of course, we'll take it all the way over to another alternate universe. Of course, a map you all well know, the map of Origins. In this map, you head beneath the Pack-a-Punch and you see our 4 character statues where you collect each and every staff. And on these statues, we have a Vril logo. This Vril logo is of course the one that matches on each and every Templar zombie from Origins, and of course it is the exact same one from the image scroll that we sort of pieced together from scraps of paper around the map of Origins as well, which shows sort of an ancient image of our 4 characters fighting off sort of zombies as well. And that's all well and good, and it's pretty interesting as well, but what way does that tie into Shadows of Evil and the Gatekeepers? Well, in the clip, and from most Gatekeepers around Shadows of Evil, but from the clip of the ending cutscene of Shadows of Evil, we see a Gatekeeper dropping down the summoning key, and of course the mark on his chest is that Vril crest, that Vril circle, that Vril logo, and it is the exact same logo as the one that our Origins statues, our Knights Templar zombies, and of course our Origins characters in the scroll have on their chest. And that is sort of the link between Origins and Shadows of Evil and the Gatekeepers and Richtofen, and you pretty much use your imagination going forward into future DLCs with this information. But I hope you all enjoyed the story of the Gatekeepers in Shadows of Evil. Once again, I hope you all have an amazing day. Smash that like button if you did learn something, and I will talk to you all later. Once again, peace out. Thanks for watching.